Chag Sameach, Shana Tova. Special message to my grandmother, Anu, and her sister, Auntie Bobby. This is the reason I'm recording this particular video, but specifically, everyone should have a special Chag of Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is sort of a mysterious day. It's not really clear whether it's meant to be a happy day or a sad day. The introduction for Yom Kippur, as it's introduced in the Torah, mentions speak to Aharon acharei mot, after his sons died. It's like reminding him of some bad things. And people therefore feel that Yom Kippur is a sad day. But I'm saying this at the eve of Kol Nidrei. And Kol Nidrei prayers in the Ashkenazi tradition are a set of slichot. They're actually said, most of them, to very happy tunes. The vidui, the confession at the end, is said in a more serious fashion. To try and understand what particularly this means, I'm going to go through a couple of ideas in the Kol Nidrei service. So the Kol Nidrei service starts with what we call Kol Nidrei, and then after that comes Maariv, where you say a normal Maariv with Shema and then Amidah. But after that is a special set of slichot, and I want to read the first one and understand something significant for Yom Kippur. It's called Yale v'yavo v'yeira'eh. Literally, that means you should go up, you should arrive, and then you will appear. Now, this actually evokes a prayer that's said on all special days, Ya'aleh v'yavo v'yera'eh, which we say to introduce a verse or a chapter about the specific day that's said during Amidah, and it's said during Birkat Hamazon. Of course, Birkat Hamazon is not said by most people on Yom Kippur because they don't eat. The prayer starts, Ya'aleh tachanunenu me'erev. Let our pleading, our supplication, rise up from the Erev. V'yavo shavotenu miboker. And then our pleas, our cries will come out in the morning. V'yeira'eh rinunenu ad erev. And then our song will appear until the evening. And every other verse continues along this pattern. Me'erev, from the evening, mi boker, from the morning, ad erev, until the evening. And it's evocative of a certain aspect of Yom Kippur. Now the Psukim, which I mentioned before, talking about Yom Kippur, principally talk about korbanot, which of course are not very practical today, even though there may be great things to learn from them. And they go into the concept of fasting and the day that is a holiday. And it talks about Ki b'yom hazeh yichaper lachem. This is the day you'll do kapara. But a couple of chapters later, in a Torah reading which actually we're going to read on first day Sukkot, it talks about something completely different. Kol melacha lo ta'asu. Do not perform any melacha. Chukat olam l'dorotechem. This is an eternal chukat for all of your generations. And this varies slightly from the Beit HaMikdash, that is not eternal. It's only when the Beit HaMikdash is there. And it's not for all generations and all people. It's only for people who are at the Beit HaMikdash. B'chol moshvotechem. No, what we're talking about here happens everywhere. Shabbat, Shabbaton hu lachem. This is a complete restful day, like a Shabbat. V'nitemet nafshotechem, and your body should suffer. That means fasting. B'tisha lachodesh ba'erev. Start on the 9th day of the month at the evening, at the end of the day. That's the explanation I'll go with here. Me'erev ad erev. From the evening to the evening, tishbedu shabbatchem, rest your Shabbat. Now this is important because we ask, how do we know that Shabbat and all other holidays go from night to day? It's because it says in Bereshit, Vayerev vayiboker, Yom Rishon, Yom Sheni, meaning the day starts with the night and then continues with the day. It also makes it much cleaner because in theory if the day went from midnight to midnight, well, you wouldn't really be around for the beginning and end of the day because most people go to sleep. This is the one occasion where the night or the evening is actually introduced as being the beginning and end of a day. Vayerev vayiboker, it's not quite clear where the end of the day is. Here it specifically says that is the beginning, that is the end of the day. And when we have this particular slicha, that starts saying things should start rising up in the evening and should come to fruition in the morning, but eventually should appear in the evening, explains what Yom Kippur is all about. The evening, the morning, and the evening. And there are three completely separate times to communicate with God and to let ourselves build that relationship. The initial evening is an introduction. It's for us to make appropriate introduction, to try and get close to what we can do only on Yom Kippur. The morning is the time to really get into details and to go over things that have to be gone over with God. And then the final evening is to close things off and to see what we've done come to fruition. I'm going to read the third last verse to give one more example. Ya'aleh zichronenu me'erev. The memories or the remembrance of us should rise in the evening. The list of things that to know we're around. V'yavot v'yudenu miboker, and our complete gathering should happen in the morning. V'yera'eh hadaratenu ad erev, and just what is good about us, what is splendid about us, will be visible in the evening. We try and gather that which is good together at night, and then during the day we make a proper presentation of ourselves, and then in the evening again we show what is good. And this is where Yom Kippur is essentially a whole day. It's not just one particular service, it's not just Kol Nidrei, it's not just Ne'ilah, it's not just Musaf, it's all of those three aspects together. And together they make the day that is Yom Kippur. So I have to say, Yom Kippur, therefore, we're Jews, we have to celebrate with food, right? We do celebrate with food with Yom Kippur. And so in fact the meal before Yom Kippur and the meal after Yom Kippur are very, very important, because this is how we are both introducing ourselves to be right in the right mood to deal with God, and then after we've dealt with God, celebrating the fact that we have successfully dealt with God. And we're literally in between, too busy otherwise, not necessarily too busy praying, but too busy preparing. And I think everyone should think a little about what this means for the day of Yom Kippur ahead. You're going to eat, you're going to relax, it's going to be festive, you're then going to introduce yourself to God, and then after that, in the morning, you're going to try and really connect with God, and in the evening, you're trying to appropriately sign off on this particular relationship with God. But the most important part, of course, is that this is not the one day of the year we have a relationship with God. Rather, it's the one day of the year that's set aside wholly for our relationship with God. That if we can build a good enough relationship with God, with Hashem, on this one day, this will last us all year long, to have the casual relationship we should have with God when we're busy with the rest of our life. Shana Tova, have a wonderful fast and a wonderful, meaningful Yom Kippur, and have a Gemar Chatima Tova. We should all be together again next year.